Broadway star and Grammy winner stars in the new movie, I Don't Understand You. It's a horror comedy, yeah, I know, horror comedy that follows an American couple played by Rannells and the great Nick Kroll on the verge of adopting a baby. On vacation in Italy, things go horribly wrong when someone turns up dead. In this clip, they struggle with what to say in a video for the birth mom of the child they want to adopt. Watch this.
We see the adoption process as a wonderful opportunity to wait for years, spend thousands of dollars, let social workers into our home, acquiesce to an FBI background check.
I have an idea. Just gonna keep it loose. Cheers.
Cheers, son.
Whew. Please give us your baby.
Please give us your baby.
Oh, and Andrew is here this morning. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I mean, who wouldn't give those two men
Yes.
a child?
Absolutely.
Right? That
Well,
seems like the right thing.
It does seem like the right thing to do. It also seems like the right thing that you are starring in this romantic comedy and things take a very chaotic turn, but you're doing it with Nick Kroll, who you've worked with brilliantly in the past.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we met, we had done, many seasons of Big Mouth at that point, but this was the most we had ever really worked together, first of all, in person. And when we were both sent this script, it just, I think we started reading it and thought, oh, it's like a rom-com about this couple who's adopting a baby and we're in Rome. That'll be fun. We'll get to film in Rome. And then it takes a really sharp turn when my character accidentally kills someone. And it does beg the question, like, how far would you go? This couple finds out that they are going to adopt a child, that they've been matched with a birth mother played by Amanda Seyfried, and we're gonna have a child, and then we have to figure out how to get back home to Los Angeles. So how far would you go to get back to your kid?
What was it like to film the romantic comedy scenes and then go from that to look,
when we started, and it's just like, okay, you and Nick, and you're walking around in Rome, and you're eating gelato, like you're just like in the Spanish Steps, and like that's fun, right? And then it turned into like a month of night shoots, and we're covered in mud, and we're doing stunts, which like Nick and I, we don't do stunts. We're like comedy people. We don't do that. And we had, so it was a lot of new experiences for us. But in some ways, it really mirrored the filming experience.
I love that so much of the storyline takes place in that gray area of lost in translation, where you don't understand what the person's saying and you're making assumptions about what they're saying, and things go awry. Did you have any real life experiences like that shooting in Rome, not understanding?
I kind of thought that I would just, by osmosis, learn Italian.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Because we were there for 2 months, and I was like, how hard can it be? And then it turns out it's hard, first of all. But it kind of, in my defense, it still works for the movie because they're not supposed to speak Italian.
Exactly.
No.
But we did full scenes with actors who were speaking Italian, and Nick and I would just kind of like wait for silence to say our lines. But the only thing that I learned was basta, basta, which the crew would say all the time, which means hurry up. What are we waiting for? Why are these guys messing around so much? So that was, I knew that one. I got that one.
Speaking of what are we waiting for, let's go back in time a moment. We have recovered your original headshot from the 1990s.
Oh,
Journey from the past to the present. Do we have? Look at that, young man.
Look at
That's
that.
who we were waiting for.
Who styled you for that?
My mother.
Oh.
It was like 93, so silk shirts were really coveted. So I got myself a silk shirt and took that headshot to try to be a little, I don't know, Mark Paul Gosselaar. I just wanted to be on Saved by the Bell.
Let me ask you.
Worked.
I want to ask you because we're celebrating Pride Month, and you've said in interviews that like the audience, has not seen a gay couple like this represented in films before. Explain that for me.
Well, I think it was one of the things that I really liked about the script was that it's not a story about them being gay or coming out or having issues because they're gay necessarily. It was just they happen to be a gay couple who happens to kill a lot of people. And I do feel like, because it is Pride Month, it's all about representation. And gay people can kill people too.
They can be murderers.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thank you for understanding that. I feel like that's an important message.
And on that, Andrew Rannells, thank you very much. Love having you on the show. We'll see you again on CBS Mornings Plus with these guys.
Yes, I will.
We see the adoption process as a wonderful opportunity to wait for years, spend thousands of dollars, let social workers into our home, acquiesce to an FBI background check.
I have an idea. Just gonna keep it loose. Cheers.
Cheers, son.
Whew. Please give us your baby.
Please give us your baby.
Andrew joins us now. Good morning.
Hi. It feels like a long time since
I
I've seen
know.
you.
I haven't seen you in ages.
I know, we've covered a lot of, I've been watching, you cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, we do.
your
It's
show.
a variety show. It's a
Friday show.
It's a Friday variety show.
So, well, I'm happy to be back and talk about murder
Let's
Yeah.
do
and
it.
children.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you summon from inside to do this, to play this
To do
murderous
this?
role? Yeah.
Well, and thinking about, like, how far would you go to start a family and how far would you go for your family? I mean, I think it's, it's obviously a situation that nobody wants to find themselves in. But if you did accidentally murder someone on vacation, would you try to get out of it?
I think to be back,
Maybe.
to be the dad that you know you
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah, to get out. So that's, I mean, as ridiculous and sort of horrifying as it sounds, that's kind of, I think, where Nick and I came from, is like, well, there is a version of this that, like, we could sort of wrap our heads around.
Because you guys as a couple have been trying to have a baby, trying to adopt for
Yep.
such a long time. And so, like, that kind of takes over everything,
Yeah.
which people can really relate to. There's a line that you say is in the film that wasn't in the script. What was that?
Oh, well, as the body count starts to get a little higher, and we were this was at the end of like a month of night shoots, and we were like an hour outside of Rome. It was very cold. We were wet. We were like covered in like fake blood, and another accident happens, and I looked at Nick and I said, "This has to be the last one. We can't keep doing this."
And you were talking about the shooting, but really,
well, no, I
could've been
mean
anything.
that and the bodies, yes,
Yes.
but it did. I mean, Nick was so much fun to work with, and is just such a hilarious improviser and such a great actor that we did just sort of very easily fall into this relationship without really having to talk too much about like what our version of this couple was going to be. We just kind of fell into it.
So speaking of falling into it, a new generation, the way the world works now, they fall into these old shows, right?
Oh, boy.
And so in our last hour, we showed a clip from Girls, right? You
Yes.
have an iconic role there. People
Thank you.
love your character. And now the show's being rediscovered.
Yeah.
And there's a fan that you encountered recently who's
Oh, yeah.
more recent.
Well, yes,
What's it
because,
about?
when that show started airing, it was 2012, I believe. So, some young people who are watching now were like in, middle school.
Yeah.
So I had this young guy come up to me and he said, "I love that show so much. It was so cool to see what it was like to be young then." And I was like, young then? Wasn't that long ago, but I guess,
It is.
Young
like
way
a long
back
time ago.
then.
We just did a morning's memory about Betty White back
Yeah.
then. So
well, yeah. Are you calling me Betty White?
I'm saying you're on your way.
He's
I'm
saying
saying
I mean, look,
Timeless.
I will take it.
You're timeless. is what
comedy
he's saying.
legend over the decades.
I
You're-
wanna be.
You're like, what, a
Yeah.
half decade in now? You're
Yeah.
almost there.
Wait, can we talk about the conclave? We don't want to waste this
Oh, yes.
background.
Now, we did, yes, thank you, because this ties into Rome. The child conclave, I'm
Story,
fascinated
yeah, that we
by.
did.
And I wish I had the photo that I could pull up, but when I was in the 4th grade, I went for Halloween as the Pope, as John Paul II. Went to a Catholic school. I dressed up as the Pope. I think those kids really nailed those costumes. I don't know
right?
who was paying for that. Probably the Catholic Church.
Catholic Church.
It
those
was a good
donations.
ad, and here we are talking about it now. But
So good.
those kids, so cute.
Andrew Rannells, thank you so much. I Don't Understand You is playing in theaters right now. Go see it. It's so fun.
After these 2 interviews, I understand you more. As
Do
a
you?
person. I like you too. Come back again
Thank you.
soon.
I'll come back.